George Kell Motor Company player of the game, Andrew Pitts, who joins us in the booth to talk about tonight's football game. Andrew, football game that the Hounds, fully expected to win, played great in the first quarter, and then it didn't work for the Hounds. But talk a little bit about the football game.
We came in and just kind of expected them to. We knew that their passing game was just strong, and that was going to be the way for us to win is if we stopped that. And came up a little short tonight just with that passing game. That quarterback is just solid. He knew what he was doing. He knew where the ball needed to go, and those receivers were making plays for him.
Yeah, they made a lot of plays, and let me tell you what, those guys did such a good job in their offensive line of we just couldn't get to him. He had all time to throw, and when you do that, you can complete passes.
Yes, sir. Which their offensive line, they were big, and we just kind of underestimated them. We thought maybe our quickness could get in there, and well, we were wrong.
It just didn't happen tonight. It just didn't happen. But let me ask you this: being a senior, the last time you walk off that field, and what's that feel like? I mean, I've done it, he's done it, Hayden's done it. I mean, we've all walked off that field the last time. What are you feeling right now?
Honestly, it hasn't registered yet that this will be the last time I ever wear number 6.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will hit me very soon, but right now it's just very shocking that I won't ever play for Newport Greyhounds again.
Well, it happens to all of us. It's just like Ben Black said, and boy, it happened to him in just a heartbreaking fashion, and losing playing an undefeated team and losing a game 51-48, and a game we should have won. But it happens to all of us, and it teaches us life lessons. You'll look back on your career, you'll look back on it, and having been part of the Newport Greyhound tradition will stay with you forever. I'm 63 years old. I graduated high school in 1974. I played in 71, 72, and 73, and let me tell you what, I'll never forget that last night I walked off that field and thought the same thing that you did. I won't wear that 51 anymore. I mean, it's a special feeling to be a Greyhound. Talk a little bit about that.
It's nothing other, just that community behind you, that the support that you get for just wearing this jersey is just crazy. Everyone respects you, whether it's in school or out in the community, and just the support's crazy.
There's nothing like being a Newport Greyhound, and I don't care where you go or who you play for. I don't care. It's something special about wearing that orange hat, and there's something special about that, and you're absolutely right.
Yes, sir.
We look up to you guys. Us old guys look up to you guys that wear that jersey. And we want to thank you guys for the great years that you've had. And I got to ask you this before we get off the air here. What's in the plan for Andrew Pitts for after graduation? What's the plan?
Right now, going into college, got a few colleges looking at, and then study criminal justice.
Wow, cool. So I hadn't narrowed it down on where you'd like to attend?
No, I got a few colleges in mind. I got Arkansas Tech and Arkansas State.
Yeah.
And got one more, just not sure yet. Just kind of depends.
Well, here's what I tell you. Go to college, get your degree, learn, do what you want to do, have a good time at college. We'll see you on Friday nights in September maybe, okay? Come back and watch the Greyhounds play. That's what we do, but been doing it all my life. Andrew, thank you for joining us, my friend. Andrew Pitts, the George Kell Motor Company. Greyhound Senior of the Game right here. Well, my hat's off to Coach Mark Hinsley. We come win or lose.
Yep.
And you made the comment that it's a little different feeling than the last time that you and I visited up here, and it wasn't our night. You come, you prepare, you want to play your best. Sometimes it doesn't happen, and sometimes you take it on the chin, and we took it on the chin.
You did, yeah, we did, and and that's what I just told them: keep fighting, be positive. When we come out after half, we had a good feeling coming out after half, and they hit that big run on us, and I mean it's just it just started kind of piling up on us. But, that's why I just kept telling the kids, keep fighting, because that's just a life lesson that we kind of have to learn and going forward.
Well, I think the game of football has always been a life lesson for you. I mean, it's such a, you put your livelihood depends on it.
Yeah.
And it depends on 15, 16, and 17-year-old kids. And most of the time, even me and you as a 16, 17-year-old kid, you really don't get it. You really don't get it. You really don't understand it. It takes you a little while when you get out of it. And then you go looking back on it after you've played that last game, and maybe several years later it hits you, and you go, you know what? That was a special time for me.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Well, that's the lesson. I told them that before even the game started. Before we knew what was going to happen. that's what I told them. I said, you're either going to be this group of guys that's going to be celebrating on the field together or crying on the field together. And
Sure.
I said, what we do from next 4 quarters is what you're going to remember. You're not going to remember some of the plays, but you remember how you will feel after certain plays. And that's what I wanted to get across to the kids. So no matter what happened tonight, win or lose, I just want them to understand, enjoy the moment, enjoy the feeling, and just enjoy the night for whatever it is.
Well, Coach, I'll say this: your senior class, won 26 football games, had a couple of 9-win seasons. Overall, the senior class was pretty good for the Newport Greyhounds. They were pretty good. Talk about your senior class.
And that's what's fun when you talk about this senior group is I've obviously seen them grow up. I've been here enough.
Sure.
But to see them really grow up as far as like when they come over here as 9th graders. When they come here as 9th graders, when we played Harding right out here.
Right.
One of the games they stepped up in, and you see some of those kids that hadn't got playing time until this year.
Right.
And kind of saw them progress from the beginning of the year, not knowing what they could do, how they could do it, and seeing some of those kids out there giving it their all this last game of their career. And then you see guys that didn't get as much playing time, didn't get as much of the talking and doing all this stuff, but they're still what made us click. And that's why this kid was sitting in that chair. Andrew does not know how much I love him and how much I respect him for who he is and what he did for us. And he's just a great kid and he's one of those kids where I'm going to continue to find out what he's doing because he's that kid that's going to be a great man one day.
Well, there's no doubt, and we talked about it. I mean, he talked about how proud he was to wear that jersey and the respect that he got within the school system, the respect
Sure.
that you get around the community, because we as older people and guys that have been doing this, for me for, actually over 40 years. And, I've seen a lot of great things, and I've seen a lot of things not go so well for us. And I mean, what I've seen is football.
That's it.
What I've seen is football. It's just
a game.
It's a game.
And and there's winners and losers, and that's and I talk about it all the time when we have losses, but it is lessons, and they don't see it now, but like we were saying, they will see it later, and it's those lessons, it's those moments that you remember, because it's like I told them before a football game, I can't remember what my coach said in my last football game.
Right, I can't either.
I can't remember.
Right.
But I remember how I felt the last football game.
I do too.
And that's what you're trying to get, the message you're trying to get to these kids.
And I think when you talk about messages to kids, and I think the things that I learned as a former player is, I just look back on the good times. I mean, unless you win a state championship, you lose the last game you play in, or if you don't make the playoffs for some reason, you lose the last game. But most teams are going to lose the last game they play.
Yeah, and that's what I told them. I said, unless you win that state championship, you're gonna have a bad night.
And half of those people lose the last game they play. The teams that play in the state championship, half of them lose that one.
So and it's like we talked about before. Winning football games is really hard. It really is at times, just because, especially when you get to this level and this stage of what we're at. But I can't say enough, and to me, it's all about the seniors, and that's what I've kept talking about all night. It's just the seniors, and trying to hug or to shake every one of them's hand tonight before they left, and it's not just the guys that played and then their name. It's those guys that didn't play as much, and those guys you don't know their names. That's the guys I really respect.
Absolutely.
Because they just kept on coming every day and giving it to everything they got. It made us a better team because of that. So, when you talk about the seniors, it's the seniors that we don't talk about all the time that really made an impact for me this year.
Well, there's no doubt a learning lesson tonight. Our football program is on as solid a foundation as I can ever remember it being. We've got players coming. Our coaching staff is second to none. We've got great things going on at our school, and there's going to be great times for the Newport Greyhounds, for Coach Mark Hinsley and the Newport Greyhounds. There's no doubt about it. Mark Hinsley, who's the head football coach, athletic director of the Newport Greyhounds, and the show each and every week is brought to you by Subway. Next time you see Jeff and Lauren Sampson, make sure you thank them and tell them thank you for sponsoring the Coach Mark Hinsley show for all year. Coach, great year.
Thank
and
you.
Until next time, Go Hounds.